Question 5. Again, we have a right angle triangle. 90 degrees is here, and this is the longest side, the hypotenuse. So in this case, they have given us two sides, which is the longer side, the hypotenuse is 14. One of the shorter sides is 10, and they've missed out one of the shorter sides, which I'm going to call A in this case. So usually I call the two shorter sides A or B, it doesn't matter. And the longer side, I normally call it C. So as usual, we're going to square all the different sides. So I've got 14 here, so I'll square the longest one first, so that's 14 square. Then I've got a 10 square, and then I've got my missing side, which I'm going to call A square. Now this time I'm working out a short side. Remember, the word short starts with the letter S. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the square of my longest side with the square of the other side. So I'm going to subtract. Remember, subtract also starts with S. So subtract for working out a shorter side, which is this one, and S for subtract. So when I subtract the square of those two sides, I will get the square of A. So what is the square of 14? Well, 14 times 14 is 196. Take away 10 square is 100, will give us a square. So when we do 196 take away 100, we get 96 is equal to A square. Notice how in terms of presentation I've kept all the equals in a line. So obviously I don't want A square, I want A. So how do you go from A squared to A? You have to square root. So I have to square root both sides. So what's the square root of 96? Well, the square root of 96 is 9 point, and there's a lot of numbers after the decimal. So I'm just going to round to 3 decimal places in this case. So the length A here is actually 7.98 centimeters. But the question says calculate the area of the triangle. So I've just worked out the base. Now to keep my answer accurate, I'm going to use square root of 96 as A. Remember, A was the square root of 96. So because there was a lot of decimals, a lot of numbers after the decimal, so my base is actually, the length here is square root of 96. That way my answer will be most accurate. So we know the way to work out the area of a triangle is to do base times height and then divided by 2. So the base is square root of 96 times the height of 10, and then we're going to divide all of that by 2, and that will give us the answer of 4, and I can round now, it's not a problem now, 48.99, and it's important to write the units centimeters square, and this is my answer to 2 decimal places.